Okay. There's a rule of evidence in effect that says you cannot be in court unless you're testifying. And once you have testified, don't discuss your testimony with anybody else except the lawyers. Okay? Don't be nervous. You'll do just fine. Okay? All right, Mr. Coble.
Your Honor, you have searched.
Oh,
You have searched the witness.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
And will this be your witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Morning.
You doing okay?
I'm just very nervous about being here, and I'm just very nervous right now.
Well, I'm going to try not to take up too much of your time. As you know, we are not using your real name today, and you've asked to be called Jay, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Jay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your relationship with Tanner Horner. How do you know Tanner?
I met him back in 2014. Through mutual acquaintance. I'd really like to give the specific details on who, but we have a mutual acquaintance, and at that point we became friends.
Well, how long have you known him?
From that point, we were really good. We were close from 2014 all the way up to, I'd say, I think 2017 or 2018.
Now, Jay, you said that you had met Tanner through mutual acquaintances. Was Tanner dating one of those acquaintances?
No, ma'am.
Was Tanner later dating another acquaintance of yours?
Yes, ma'am.
When was it that he was dating that acquaintance of yours?
I'd say 2015 or 16.
While he was dating this acquaintance, would you two get together and hang out?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, how often would y'all get together and hang out?
I'm trying to think because the dates are kind of. When I lived in that area, he'd usually come over every other day, and on the weekends we'd stay up all night laughing, watching Spirit Science and other stuff.
What is Spirit Science?
It was a YouTube channel show that he showed me about crystals and energy and all that stuff.
At some point, did Tanner and your acquaintance end their romantic relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
After that, did y'all still continue to hang out?
Not as often. I shortly moved away from that area, and by that point, I started seeing him less and less. And once I started my own, when I got married, we stopped seeing each other at that point.
When after Tanner and your acquaintance broke up, you said that you didn't see him often, but did you still consider him a friend?
At that point, yes. And in fact, I didn't start seeing him again until around 2021. I was going through issues with a relationship, and I had nobody to help me with my son. And so I was working with a security detail at the time, and I would occasionally drop my son off with him and his wife and his son. And so they would watch him while I went to work.
Did that help you out a lot?
Yes, it helped me keep my job.
So over the years, it seems like you've spent a lot of time with Tanner. How well would you say you know him?
Years ago, I could say I know him pretty well, but like I was, as the time progressed from that point, we went distant. It was in 2022. I moved to another city, and at that point, I stopped talking to him and stopped talking to me, and that was pretty much the end of it. Then I saw in the news about what was going on, and I was still in shock to believe this, because this didn't seem like the Tanner I had once known. So I didn't know what to make of it, and I was, I looked at my son and I was like, kind of shocked, because I was still processing this, because it's not every day that someone you would consider your best friend at the time you'd think that.
Well, Jay, you said that when you saw the news, you were shocked because that wasn't the Tanner that you know. So
Yes,
let's talk about the Tanner that you knew back then. What kind of guy was Tanner when y'all were hanging out like that?
Well, I don't exactly have common sense, but I always thought Tanner as kind of like a goofball, someone fun to hang out with, because he'd show up smoking cigarettes, making jokes, playing Yu-Gi-Oh card game with me, and just laughing and drinking alcohol. So.
Well, what's Yu-Gi-Oh?
It's a card game based off the TV show that came out, I believe, in 1999.
What kind of show is that?
It's an anime kids show. Wow. It's an anime show. It was originally targeted for teenagers, but for kids, for America, wound up making it for like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, and that's kind of what I was growing up on. So it was kind of cool to find someone who could play that card game.
Other than the Yu-Gi-Oh, why do you think y'all got along so well?
Well, since I had graduated high school at the time, it was hard to find other people who shared the same interest I did at that point, and we just hit it off. We had a good time. So.
Did y'all have the similar sense of humor?
Kind of, yeah.
Did y'all like the same kind of TV shows?
I wasn't really into the spirit science. I just watch it to, like, he'd wanted, he said, hey, come watch this. However, he did get me onto a TV show, YouTube channel called Team 4-Star, which is probably the most funniest YouTube channel I've watched.
I'm going to write that one down. I'll have to check that one out. Did y'all have the same taste in music?
Yes.
What kind of music were y'all listening to?
We were listening to rock, metal, heavy metal, screamo, pretty much that.
You mentioned screamo. What is screamo?
It's pretty much when you're screaming the lyrics.
So more screaming, less singing?
It depends on how you want to look at it.
Okay. Through the years that you knew Tanner, did you ever have the opportunity to meet his family?
Yes, I did. I met his grandparents, and I've always liked them. Bill used to tell me, out of all the people that Tanner brought over, he respected me the most, and I think it's because I had a grandparent who was in the military at one point, and seeing Bill, I had respect for him, and I know Tanner and him never really got along together, but I've always liked Bill, and he, in fact, before he passed away, he handed me a book to read, and I really wish I could remember the name of it. I'm sure I have it still. And but I was always respectful to him and Jackie was always sweet and nice to me. Anytime I came over, she asked if I wanted anything, or yeah.
Well, it sounds like Bill was tough on Tanner.
Yes, I'd say just the typical amount, like, hey, get your room clean, hey, don't talk like that, and come on, you need to respect me and Jackie, that kind of deal. I never really seen Bill as like rough, I just seen him as any other person would see that man of that statue.
Well, Jay, did you ever see Bill yelling at Tanner?
Yes, I've seen that multiple times.
When he was yelling at Tanner, what kinds of things was he saying to him?
I don't remember what the conversation was about. I remember, the images in my head of him yelling, but I don't remember what it was about. I remember Tanner would turn around and he would roll his eyes and then would walk to his room or back in the backyard, pick up a cigarette, and he'd start smoking and venting towards me.
Did you ever hear Bill telling him that he was a screw off?
Yes.
Did you ever hear him telling him that he was a piece of trash, just like his mother?
I don't remember the part about the piece of trash part, but I know there was some comparisons to him and his mom. Unfortunately, a lot of that time, I get easily distracted, and when they showed me Doctor Who and the TV was on, I was, sorry, man. Sorry.
That's okay. Do you recall a time when Bill got mad at Tanner just for accidentally breaking something?
Not to my recollection. It probably happened, but I don't remember.
Do you remember telling us a story about a ventilation hood?
No, that wasn't with Bill. That was at the place I was living at, and it belonged to a relative of mine, that ventilation hood.
Oh, okay. Did you meet Tanner's mother, Melissa?
One or two times.
What was she like?
She barely knew I was there. She was mostly cooped up in her room asleep most of the time. She, like I said, she didn't even acknowledge I was really there.
Did you ever see her and Tanner together?
Not really. Most of the time, hey, come over to my room, and I just chill in his room, or I'd sit in the living room, or one of those two.
Do you recall ever seeing Melissa or hearing Melissa badmouth him or belittle him or berate Tanner?
Yes.
What was that like?
I remember one time I came over to his house to hang out with him, and we're sitting there in the living room, and I don't remember what they were yelling at, but she was screaming at him for something, and he was upset. He turned around, he pulled me, he's like, hey, come on. And then he said, I can't stand hers, and he said something else. Like, barely recall. It's been a long time.
Jay, during the time that you knew Tanner, do you know if how often was his mom around?
Not that often. Like I said, the two times I did see her, that was, she had came out of the room. Other than that, she was hardly ever there. I think she might have been incarcerated, or she was out somewhere. I'm not sure.
But you did know that she wasn't in the house?
She was hardly there.
And how did that affect Tanner?
Well, I think at that point, he was over it, and he didn't care anymore. I'm sure deep down it bothered him, but at a certain point, I think he just stopped caring.
Jay, I want to go back to this acquaintance that Tanner had been dating. How long did they date? If you know.
I think it was 2 or 3 years.
What was their relationship like?
One of them was very clingy. The other one was constantly hitting his own head because he'd rather hurt himself than hurt her. And she would turn around and antagonize him a couple of times. But there were moments where he would turn around and try to do sweet things for her.
You said that one of them was very clingy. Was that the woman?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that Tanner would hit his head
Yes.
rather than hurt her.
Yes.
Tell me about that. What
Some-
would she do to make him want to hit his own head?
Well, so he would. A lot of times she'd cut him off and wouldn't listen to him, and it would make him upset, and he would just go like that, or he'd hit his head against the wall a few times.
And, Your Honor, for the record, I would like the record to reflect that the witness was making a fist and putting it to the side of his head several times.
Record will so reflect.
Jay, when Tanner would hit himself in the head, how hard would he hit himself?
Pretty hard. I could hear it. Like, I was like, "Hey, dude, you all right there?" And then he'd spit, and he'd take another puff from the cigarette or whatever, and he would try to tell me she's driving me freaking crazy, and he would vent on how she was making him feel.
In spite of all of the antagonism, and despite how many times she antagonized him, did you ever see Tanner become physically aggressive towards this woman?
No.
Instead, would he turn that towards himself?
Yes.
Was that common for him to hit himself in the head like that?
Yes.
How often would you see things like that happen?
Things would be fine. If he was coming over to visit with me, he'd be fine and whatnot. But when she'd come over, about maybe after a few minutes, then there we go, the yelling and the cursing, and that's when he would start hitting himself.
Could you tell what would trigger these, for lack of a better word, these meltdowns?
Just about anything. He might have looked the wrong way, and she would get upset, and or he didn't do something, or he didn't know what she was thinking, and she'd get mad and scold him for it.
At any time during these meltdowns, did you ever see Tanner destroy property?
Yes, one of those times, there was a ventilation hood that was on that property I was staying at. It belonged to some relatives of mine. They were using it, and he turned around, he took his frustration out on that.
Did you ever see Tanner take his frustrations out on another human being?
No, not even when my spouse had kicked him in the groin.
Tell me about that. What happened?
We were at Walmart late at night, and we were laughing, joking around, and she was playing, and she got him in the groin, and he was in a lot of pain. He was so mad. He just suggested, "Just take me home, take me home right now." And so I dropped him off, and then my spouse and I continued to go about our evening.
Now, Jay, did you, you said that you and Tanner had similar taste in music and that he was a good musician. Was Tanner ever in a band?
Yes, Sacred Sound.
What kind of band was that?
It wasn't quite screamo or hardcore. It was, I'd say, more like punk rock.
Were they good?
I thought so. I liked the band.
Did you go see a lot of their shows?
When they went to Tomcats, I did.
Did you ever see, oh, you said Tomcats. Was that an all-age venue?
No, I think they were 21 and up. I can't remember. I know it was a venue on Altamere.
Did you ever see any young women hanging out with the band?
Well, there's a lot of young women there. I think so. It's kind of a blur on that part. Like some of the memories I have of Tomcats and of the band, I barely recall. I have one image where it was Jackie there trying to sell merch, and there was also one image where I climbed up on their bus. They were showing me out, and that was pretty cool.
During the time that you spent with Tanner and the band and those people, did you ever hear any allegations of sexual abuse against any of these young women?
Judge, I'll object. That calls for hearsay.
Sustained. No, you don't have to answer.
Oh, sorry.
And Your Honor, that does not go to, it's not hearsay because it doesn't go to the truth of the matter asserted?
The objection is sustained.
Jay, a minute ago, you had talked about Tanner hitting himself in the head and that he would smoke a cigarette or something to help him calm down. What did you mean by or something? Did you ever see Tanner smoke marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
In the environment where Tanner grew up, were there a lot of people around him that did drugs?
Other than his mother, not entirely, no, not that I know of. I mean, his band and, did pot, they did pot, no.
When you saw Tanner smoking the marijuana, was it just the two of you, or were you more in a social setting?
It was just the two of us.
Jay, did Tanner ever confide in you about being sexually assaulted himself?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, I'll object. That's hearsay.
Let me hear the question. Go ahead.
Did he give you any details without saying what he said? Was he able to give you details?
No, ma'am.
Judge, I'll still object. That's still hearsay.
All right. We hadn't gotten into a conversation. Go ahead.
Was he able to give you any details?
Well,
Judge,
he
that
was
calls
able
for
to, but
speculation. I'll object to that. That calls for speculation on his part.
Sustained as to speculation.
Jay, after that initial conversation where Tanner confided in you about being sexually assaulted, did he ever mention it to you again?
No, ma'am. It was one of the times we were drunk together and it slipped out. And when I asked him about it, he didn't give me any details.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Sir, you hung out with Tanner all the way through 2022, didn't you?
We didn't hang out like we did in those first, like 2014 and 2015. It wasn't like that. It was ever so often we'd hang out at that point.
And it kind of seems like a little bit, y'all kind of partied together a little bit. Is that right?
It was, no, not entirely. It was those first 2 years of 2014 and 2015 before I messed up my life and then fixed it.
But back during that time, you talked a little bit about marijuana. That wasn't the only drug you and Tanner did together, was it?
No, sir.
And what all drugs did y'all do together?
We did acid and we also did Molly.
Okay. And did you get that Molly from Tanner?
Yes, sir.
Did you get the acid from Tanner?
Yes, sir.
Were you doing acid and Molly before you got it from Tanner?
No, sir.
Talk a little bit about Bill, and that'll be the last thing I'm going to ask you. You said that you respected Bill, right?
Yes, sir. He was not only was he a veteran, he was a good man.
And that you said something to the effect that he was trying to teach Tanner how to act and how to behave,
Yes, sir.
and you respected that.
Yes, sir.
You think that's a good thing for a parental figure to teach a kid how to behave and how to have respect for people around him?
Yes, sir. I'm instilling that into my child.
Pass the witness, Ron.
Redirect.
Have a moment, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
May he be finally excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. Just go with the deputy.